Hello, everyone, and welcome to Baking for Kids with Miss Jen. I am Miss Jen, and I'm so glad to see everybody. Happy holidays. Can we believe that December 1st was last week? I cannot believe that. That means we're in the countdown to Christmas, and there's a lot of other great holidays coming in through December and January. So today we're going to talk about baking a holiday crinkle cookie. I have to say that baking, I'm sure it's no surprise, is one of my highlights of any holiday, especially Christmas. I feel like you see cookie exchanges and treat exchanges, and at craft fairs, you'll see different things for sale, different special holiday treats. And I really like this a recipe because the batter we're starting with is vanilla. And so then, since it is vanilla, you can dye it to different colors, whatever suits the theme you're going for. Maybe you're going for like a wintry theme and you want blue and white. Maybe you're going Christmas and you want red and green. Maybe you want Hanukkah and want to use blue. So you've really got the option to use whatever colors you think will work and look pretty on your holiday table. I will admit to my family's favorite cookie is a chocolate crinkle. This is the vanilla version. But like I said, it's really fun because you can dye it different colors to match what you're going for. All right, so let's get started. First of all, ingredients. Another thing I really like about this, very simple, not a lot of ingredients, not a lot of appliances except your stove and your manpower, woman power to stir. So you need a vanilla cake mix, any brand vanilla cake mix. You need vanilla extract. You need 1 egg. You need 1 container of Cool Whip or dessert whip, and then powdered sugar, and then some type of food gel or food coloring. You can use either. I happen to have gel. Gel is just concentrated, so it takes less, and it's more solid because it's a gel versus a liquid, but you can do either one. As far as items that we need to work with, let me grab those and show you. Again, not a lot of tools necessary, which is nice. I will say, parents, the dough at this is very, very sticky. So that's one caveat when you're having your little friends help you in the kitchen. The hands are going to get really sticky probably. Okay, so other tools. I have kitchen scissors just to open packages. Something to stir, so you can have, I have a silicone spatula, or you can have like a wooden spoon, mixing spoon, or a big metal knife or a spoon. I have a scooper, or you can use a tablespoon measure to the dough, a teaspoon, a large bowl to mix everything, and then a small bowl because we're going to give our cookie batter a bath, a powdered sugar bath. Doesn't that sound fun? That sounds like something out of Willy Wonka. So that is our ingredients. That is our tools. So just to recap, vanilla cake mix, vanilla extract, 1 egg, a container of Cool Whip, and then food coloring if you wish, which you don't have to. The cookies will just look vanilla if you don't. But if you have food coloring or food gel, you can use that too. And then you need your oven, which, by the way, to speed up our time, I set it to 350 already. And good point, you need a cookie sheet. You can cover with parchment paper, or if you don't have parchment, or you're saying, what is parchment paper? It's like a nonstick type of thing. I'm just going to use foil for today because most people have foil in their house. So the oven and that, 2 bowls, 1 big and 1 small, something to stir, and then the 1 cup measure and the 1 teaspoon. And we are ready to get started. So we'll go ahead and get the cookies going, and then we're going to read a story or two, and we'll talk about all the exciting things that are happening in December at Gail Borden. All right, so let's get started. What we're going to do is get all these ingredients into the big bowl. So what I've learned to do, just as a little like tip or side note, if I'm baking especially, and with baking you usually have liquid ingredients and dry ingredients. We've probably talked about this on Baking for Kids before. I like to do the liquid first, even though it might say like cake mix and mix it with oil or egg or whatever. But since we have to mix our egg or whip it up, you don't want to mix dry ingredients more than you have to. If you overmix flour or the cake mix, which has the flour in it, it can make it tough So I like to do the egg especially because it has to be whisked a little bit. I like to do that first. So I put my one egg in the bowl. And like I said, this is pretty easy. So I'm just going to use my spatula and just kind of, you don't even have to whip it up a lot, but we just need to kind of break up the yolk and the white a little bit to get it started. You can hear it sloshing around in there. Okay, so there's our egg. I just want to confirm amounts on my recipe here. So, and then let's put in our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. That's what I thought. So our 1 teaspoon of vanilla, we're going to mix it with our egg. Okay, so there's our vanilla. So far we've got the 2 liquid ingredients, the vanilla and the egg. I'm going to mix that again just a little to incorporate the vanilla with the egg. Okay, now my cake mix. Does not matter what brand. I'm going to be honest, I did find a vanilla cake mix, which is more like white colored. Or yellow cake will have a slightly different flavor and taste, and it'll probably change the color of the cookie when it's done. So I don't know if you want to try that or not. It is fun to experiment though. So cake mix is cake mix, right? So you're welcome to try a yellow cake if you can't find vanilla. Okay, so there's my cake mix, egg and vanilla. And I'm going to mix that just a little bit. Because I will say when I've made these before, the Cool Whip is interesting. Because that is almost gelatinous. So that's our other moist, wet ingredient that we're going to add. But it's not really, really liquidy, so it's going to take a little bit of effort. So grown-ups out there, when you do this with your kids, that part could be a little frustrating for them maybe. Just help them. And also want to make sure that once you add that Cool Whip, we're going to really fold a lot to make sure where you rotate the spoon to get all of the dry cake mix moistened. Okay, so we've got the cake mix, the egg, and the vanilla. And now I'm going to add, it's a whole tub of Cool Whip too, so that makes it easy. All 8 ounces. Okay, so this is completely full. And again, just to make it easy, because it's all going in the same bowl, I'm going to add it in. I'm actually going to add a portion and start stirring just a little. Because I feel like if I add all the Cool Whip at once, it could be hard to incorporate it all. So I'm going to stir, stir, stir here. Do you guys have favorite holiday cookies that you like to make? There's always the classic gingerbread I've seen around the holidays, sugar cookies that you can decorate any way you want. My family, we always made kolachki. That was just a holiday tradition we had. There's the classic chocolate chip. There's just so many choices. A lot of people like to try to do some kind of mint or cocoa theme because of wintertime, and I think a lot of us think of mint or peppermint during the holidays. All right, so this is starting to incorporate. There's still powder, but I've got some of the Cool Whip in, so I'm going to add the rest and then keep stirring. Okay. So there's a lot of Cool Whip in here, and the cake mix, the egg, and the vanilla, okay? And we're just going to stir that. So once I get these in the oven, we'll read a couple stories or parts of stories. I like to give you guys a cliffhanger so that you'll come in and visit me and my friends in Kidspace to find the books and check them out yourselves. Also, we can talk about all the cool things that are happening. We've got a lot of fun programs for kids and families coming up because, you know, it's more of an unofficial holiday, but winter break is coming, kids. So everyone will get a little time off of school if you take a winter break. And celebrate maybe some holidays and have some downtime. Perfect time to bake or come see us at Gale Borden. Oh, one other thing with the recipe, when I originally made it, you can divvy up the batter however many colors you'd like. So I'm only going to do 1 color today just to demonstrate, but you can do 2 colors, you can do 3. You just have to divvy up the batter into however many bowls you want. and then add the different food colorings to the different bowls. Okay, I'm just kind of stirring and mixing. Like I said, this takes a little while just because the texture of the cake and the Cool Whip. I've never incorporated Cool Whip as a major ingredient like this to instead of like oil or eggs, but it's pretty cool and it works really well. So, and it's usually pretty easy to find at the store. Okay, we're getting there. I'm almost ready to add the food gel. I also want to make sure the Cool Whip is not too liquidy and that we really get all the dry ingredients done because we don't want this mush. We want a kind of sticky dough so that we can change the color and then give it that powdered sugar bath that I talked about. Okay, so I'm going to keep just kind of, so this is really thick now, really thick, but I'm going to kind of scrape the sides here a couple more times and make sure, yep, see, I can still see a little bit of cake mix at the bottom of the bowl. So making sure that we're getting all that dry cake mix mixed in with the egg, vanilla, and Cool Whip package. Okay, looks pretty smooth now, like cake batter, or cookie batter in this case. So then we've got, let me grab a knife just to make it easier. We're going to add the food coloring. So again, if this was the step where you were going to do more than one color, now is the time to pause, get however many bowls you need. You have your original bowl, but let's say I was going to do 3 colors. I have my original, and I would get 2 more bowls. Split it up, doesn't even have to be equal amounts, and then add the different food colorings to each bowl, right, to keep each one separate. Okay, so I happen to have from my Earth Day cookies still, this is leaf green food gel. So let's add a little leaf green. We're going to make it like holiday green. I'm going to add that to my batter here. Okay. So just to give you an idea, there's the green, and then I'm going to stir a little and I'll show you. The other nice thing about working with food gel and food dye is that if you don't like the color, you can always add more, right? You cannot add less, just like you cannot cook something less once it's too cooked, but you can always add more time to your oven or more food gel or coloring to make it darker. Okay, so this will require a little more stirring. And I'm not going to make all these cookies while we're here because that will take too long because each one gets a beautiful individual bath in a bowl of powdered sugar. So I'll just do a few to give you an idea. And then we'll get them in the oven to show you. And then we'll read our stories. And do you guys have any favorite holiday stories that you really like? There's so many good ones. Again, if you come into the library, we've got several displays, like a lot of holiday books on various winter holidays that you can come in and check out. Okay, this is pretty light green, but I'm going to stir a little more and see. And I might add slightly more, give you an idea. It is working though. Or honestly, if you want to do the light green, you can try it. This is kind of an interesting, almost tie-dye-ish green and white color that we've got right now. Okay, I am getting my arm workout in today with this because it is really getting sticky. So grown-ups, again, the kids might need some assistance at some point here when you're doing this. Those arms, if my arm's getting tired, I would imagine theirs are too. All right, I'm going to add slightly more gel. And then we'll be ready to add. And give them their bath, which is the most fun part. Okay. The key is to not get the food gel and food coloring all over your clothes also. That's always helpful. There we go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to add just a little, I added a little more green. Stir that for another minute or two, and then we'll be ready to proceed to the next step, which is the bath. The powdered sugar bath. The equivalent of a cookie spa day, apparently. Okay. So, pretty green now. We're getting there. I've done, like I said, blue frosting cookies before because I like that. I feel like blue and silver and white are really pretty colors for like New Year's or the holidays, or blue for Hanukkah. I've done the red and green. There's just a lot of cool things. Or if you were doing some other event any time of year that has a color scheme, right? Like red and blue if you wanted for 4th of July, you could do that. Okay, so here's my green dough, quite thick. That's not going anywhere, which is good. It's very, very sticky and very, very thick. It's got nice form, and that's what we need when we go to put these in the bath. With our scooper, we're going to plop the dough in and then put them on our cookie sheet. So let me make some room here. Oh, and so with the powdered sugar, you are going to do about a cup. I'm just going to eyeball it, but you're going to pour that into a separate bowl for the powdered sugar cookie bath. So I'm adding some powdered sugar to my bowl. There you go. And then we're going to put the cookies in there. Okay, let me make a little space here. Okay. So, a couple different ways you can go about doing this. But essentially, we need little balls of dough, which again, is kind of a sticky dough, to end up in the powdered sugar. And you roll it, you want it pretty much encased in, rolled completely in the powdered sugar, and then gently set on the cookie sheet, and then we'll bake them. That's the last step as far as the cookies go. Okay? All right. So, I have my cookie sheet ready. I have my bowl of powdered sugar, and I have my bowl of green dough. So if you have green dough, red dough, blue dough, yellow, whatever you want, again, we're divvying up however many colors you want with our original vanilla, right? And then you'll add whatever color you want to each bowl separately. And of course, use a different scooper or clean it in between to get the different colors. All right, here we go. I'm just going to check really quick and make sure we don't have any comments or questions. Ooh, hi Tenley and Mom in Wisconsin. It's so good to see you guys. Okay, so here we go. So I have this really handy dandy scooper. Sorry. And it's nice because it'll flip it out almost like an ice cream scoop. But honestly, anything over 2 spoons or a tablespoon with a spoon to squeeze out. So I'm going to, and what I have found, because I've done different types of crinkles, I'm going to scoop my dough, plop it in the bowl. Okay, this is a good tip. I'll show you. Then before I touch the dough at all, because remember, it's very, very sticky dough. Very sticky. I'm going to gently toss some powdered sugar over it to coat it so it won't be as sticky, and then roll it around a little and then set it in. So I'll show you. So here I go with scooping up some dough. So I have about a little scooper worth of dough, and I'm just going to plop it into my bowl like that. I'll show you. Oh, it's rolling around. Hold on. Okay. So it's hard to see. Well, there it goes again. It's rolling around in there. And much easier to handle once it's coated in powdered sugar. If you tried to pick that up without it being coated, it would be a big sticky mess. Okay, so I have another scoop, again, into the bowl. And then I'm just going to coat it in the powdered sugar, using my fingers like pinching, almost like sprinkling cheese. Then I'm going to get, once it's coated, I'll roll it a little bit, And there we go. You can't even hardly see the green. And the neat thing is, as we do this, you'll see what happens when they bake, but it does make like this kind of cracked, almost like iced crackle texture and look to them, which is really cool. And that's another nice thing. If you don't do the color change, you don't see it as much. But if you do chocolate, of course, or any of these other colors, the original color will come through again. And then you'll also see the white crackle exterior on the outside. So we are taking that 1 scoop at a time, coating them in the powdered sugar, using our hands to sprinkle, sprinkle, right? Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And then once it's coated, set them on the cookie sheet. I will say too, another tip, these spread out a lot when they cook, so they need a lot of space in between cookies. I mean, if you don't and two merge together while they're baking, it is not the end of the world, right? But it's just a good idea to kind of give them space. My cookie sheet, I feel like, is a pretty standard size, and I'll do about 12. So 4 in each row, 3 rows for 12. Oh, now we're getting some math in, right, during the baking, like I always talk about. Okay, do a couple more here, and then we'll get them in the oven. Okay. You can do more than one. Like, I'm doing this one at a time, but now I'm going to just put 2 balls of dough in there and cover them both. It doesn't really matter. You can do trial and error and see what works best for you. The main thing is to try to manage the sticky dough as best you can. A lot of, like I said, sprinkling, right? Try to coat it. Move it around. There we go. Okay, so we've got 8. So I'll do 2 more little baths here with 2 each. 2 and 2 is 4, right, friends? And then we'll be all set. We'll get them in the oven. And we'll see what stories I have for you today. Because we're talking about cookies, I can tell you 2 of the stories are about cookies. One is about a cookie that kind of comes to life, and I love it. It's like the secret life of baked goods. One is about a man and his cat who like to bake. And the other one is just a cute holiday story that I'll just show you a couple pictures from it. We'll talk just a little bit about it. Okay, 2 more scoops and we're all done with this batch. Okay, here we go. Sprinkling, sprinkle, sprinkle. There's 1. These are, I'm sure it's no surprise, so we've got vanilla cake mix, right? Cool Whip, which is sweet kind of, and vanilla extract. So these are a pretty sweet cookie too, I will say that. Can you ever have too much sweet though? I don't know. Some people would say yes. Okay, so let me show you my tray. Here's a tray of the cookies. And I'm going to put it in the oven for about 10 minutes. Let me just wash my hands. I know you didn't see it, but I did wash right before we started. Because you always want to start, right, with clean hands when you're cooking or baking. And even though I did not end up with a sticky, sticky mess, I have some food coloring on my hands and I have powdered sugar. So, all right. So I'll put these in for 10 minutes. We will talk about these books and holiday events, and then we'll be all set. Okay, so in for 10 minutes. Set my timer. All right, let's talk books. Why don't we start with this one? So I'm going to clear out of the way so you guys can see the book even better. The Cookie Maker of Maven Road by Sue Lawson and Liz Anelli. Man, look at these cookies, you guys. The Cookie Baker of Maven Road. Benedict Stanley and his cat, Audrey May, lived at 23 Maven Road. Each morning, they greet their neighbors, but ears are too full and mouths stay closed. So over there, they're saying, good morning, hello, lovely day. Perhaps tomorrow, Benedict Stanley sighs. Aw, no one said hi back. That's sad. Benedict and Audrey May putter and plant until legs weary and shoulders tire. From the patio, they watch the comings and goings on Maven Road. That's a good spot to be, right? On the porch, kind of checking everything out. And look at how beautiful and colorful their stuff is. Did you guys notice? It's not so colorful over here, right? It's kind of gray and gloomy. And even here, so here's his beautiful stuff. And this looks a little gray in the background. So let's see what happens. I like your cat, says a young neighbor one morning. Benedict smiles. Her name is Audrey May. I'm Rory. The tooth fairy's visiting me tonight. Did you know? In his kitchen, Benedict Stanley reaches for his wife's recipe book. He sifts and folds, shapes and bakes into the evening. So yeah, he's got the cat helper in the kitchen. Not sure about that, but it seems to be his best friend, so they're hanging out in the kitchen baking. Before the joggers puff and the walkers strut, Benedict and Audrey make a special delivery. Ooh, what do you guys think the special delivery is? They were in the kitchen. Oh my gosh, look at you guys. Look at these cool cookies. What a nice idea. Each morning after that, Benedict and Audrey May deliver cookies along Maven Road. Shortbread when triplets arrive home. Chocolate chip to welcome new neighbors. And ghosts and ghouls for Halloween. Who is making these cookies? Someone kind. Oh my gosh, everyone's really enjoying them. Benedict and Audrey May make cat cookies with currant eyes after a kitten rescue. And soccer cookies after a tournament. Tastes good from somewhere good. One evening, an aching and snuffling Benedict Stanley shuffles to bed. Uh-oh. The dance recital cookies stay on the cooling rack. So it sounds like he's getting maybe a little head cold or something. There are no bite cookies after a ride without training wheels, and no ambulance shortbread with cherry lights after a tumble from a roof. The cookie maker's gone. So people are wondering, and we're not going to read the whole story, but people are wondering. And guess what? Audrey May's trying to tell him something. She's like, guys, have you not noticed? And look at you guys. Oh, I love this. Everyone is doing something kind for him now because he was giving those cookies all along and greeting his neighbors. And look at how colorful, because everybody's happy and kind to each other. I love that. So now Benedict Stanley and Audrey May have company and friends, and the whole neighborhood is enjoying each other's company. That is awesome. Love that story. Okay. Which brings up an excellent point, you guys. If you're visiting someone's house or you're going to see family for the holidays and you're thinking, what could I bring with that would be fun? You could bake cookies, right? And bring those. Okay, so that was our story about actual baking. Now this one is about the secret life of baked goods. Smart Cookie by Jory John and Pete Oswald. These guys are fun, and they've got a lot of different really funny books. This one's pretty long, so we'll just read a few of the pages, but I just want to show you. Greetings, I'm Cookie. I live in a bakery on a street corner near a river. Come on in. Oh man, this bakery looks so cute. Cookie's very friendly. Welcome to our little community. It's a warm and supportive place to spend some time. Pretty fantastic, eh? All right, you guys, let's take a look at this. We've got a cupcake and a pie slice doing chemistry experiments. We've got, looks like some bread and a croissant doing geography. We've got a muffin and a cinnamon roll doing some math or physics. Oh man, we've got 3 macaroons being measured. We've got like a braided bread and a donut doing some astronomy. This is so cool. We've got some art going on. And then we've got the macaroons giving each other a high five. And it looks like Pretzel down here likes to build. I love this. This is the secret life of the baker, you guys. These days, life is sweet. But my journey wasn't always a cakewalk. When I was younger, I couldn't have imagined fitting in here. For a long time, I didn't feel comfortable speaking up or sharing my ideas. I didn't feel like a smart cookie. I wanted to be a cookie who knew all the answers. A cookie who felt confident in a group. A cookie who said, aha, when solving a puzzle. Like this, aha. And look at, he's got his pencil in his big moment. Looking back, I had some trouble in my early days. I went to school in a gingerbread house. Of course, right? Our teacher, Ms. Biscotti, was kind and patient when I arrived each morning, and she'd wave and smile. But then we go on to find that Cookie has some trouble in school, which a lot of us do. And he's a little nervous, which a lot of us get nervous, right? Because, you know, school feels like there's a lot going on. But then one day, Miss Biscotti gives them an assignment. She said it can be, create something original. It can be anything you want. So Cookie tries a bunch of different things. But then he decides to write a poem. You can see some of the other friends. Donut showed off some frosting art. And I love this. Another one revealed her sprinkle distribution machine right here. Who can't use a sprinkle distribution machine? And it was so neat to see everyone's good at different things, which is totally true. And then Cookie read his poem, even though he's very nervous. His little legs are shaking, called My Crumbly Days. And he was talking about how it's hard to be a cookie, how it's hard to maybe not be sure of yourself, and how it can be difficult if you feel a little nervous. And the more he read, the more he saw people nodding and agreeing, because they totally understand that. And so at the end, we see that all the friends are doing what they love to do, which I love. They're all hanging out. They're doing different things in class. So definitely check this one out too. Smart Cookie by Jory John. He's got a bunch of different books. So this is just one of them. Okay, one more. This is just the cute factor. This was one of the holiday books that I picked up off the holiday display table in our early learning center. So this one is called Prissy and Pop. So the story with this is these are pets of this teacher. She's a first grade teacher, and they are Instagram sensations. We're not going to do the whole book, but this is Prissy and Pop Deck the Halls by Melissa Nicholson. And let's take a look and see what these holiday pigs are up to. So Prissy and Pop Deck the Halls. Look at them. Okay. So let's see what's involved. Oh my gosh, look at them, you guys. Wake up, Pop, Prissy calls. Rise and shine. But I'm so warm and cozy, says Pop. Silly Pop, it's 3 days till Christmas and there's still so much to do, says Prissy. And two little piggies begin their holiday tasks. All right, guys, so you know Miss Jen was talking about holiday tasks, right, and what we love to do. So look what we're up to. Let's make cookies for Santa next, says Prissy. Two little piggies make cookie dough, and they only eat a little bit of it. Oh boy, I'm tempted to eat dough a lot too. And look at, this is like British Bake Off. They're looking into the oven. Soon, the cookies are cut into holiday shapes. I'll do the icing, says Prissy. I'll do the sprinkles, says Pop. Prissy and Pop bake the cookies until they're nice and crunchy. Ooh, I love that. And then, one more classic holiday thing. The next day, Prissy remembers the gingerbread house kit. The piggies get to work decorating the little house. It looks just like our house, says Pop. Do you think a tiny gingerbread Santa will visit it? Asks Prissy. Ho, 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 Pop laughs. Oh my goodness. And then one more here, because our timer's going off, but you got to see them in their little PJs. Oh my gosh, look at them in their holiday PJs, you guys. They're so cute. They had to go to bed and wait for Christmas Day. So a couple things. Prissy loves making snowflakes, singing carols, writing a letter to Santa, watching Christmas movies, dressing in her holiday best, and being with Pop. Pop loves hanging up stockings, snuggling in Christmas PJs, popping popcorn, eating Christmas cookies, lending a hoof to animals in need, and being with Prissy. So that was Prissy and Pop Deck the Halls. All right, let's turn the timer off. Oh, and I should have listed in our materials oven mitt, right? Because that oven was at 350. So let's see how the cookies are looking. Oh, they look good. Get them out. I think they're done. All right, look. Can we see? They've got that crackly texture. You see the green and the white. My family said we could also call them Grinch cookies, right? Just because the Grinch is a classic Christmas thing too. Okay, guys, so a couple more quick things. I hope you liked that. I hope you try them. I hope you have success with them. Let me make sure we don't have any questions or comments. And then, and I love the book too, Tenley and Mom. Okay, so holidays are coming, right? And as I said earlier, winter break is coming for most of us. So you guys are done with the holidays. You're looking for some fun activities to do. You need to come into Gale Borden. We're going to have a week of play. We're going to have block building day. We're going to have snow day of play. Those are just come on in and see what's going on. We have a dessert decorating for kids. There's 2 different days or times, and there's only a few spots left, but if you check any of these, you can look at galeborden.info events, and you can find these things. And that particular one, the dessert decorating, you have to register. For our littler friends, we know you probably don't stay up till midnight, right? So we have Happy Noon Year occurring, and that's sign up, and there is space available. That's on the 30th of December. We have a Craftorama coming up where you can come in and do some winter-themed crafts. And then we have Mr. Freeze from the Fermi Lab, who does really cool cryogenic, like deep freeze experiments. And that's a family event that's going to be on January 5th at 4 and 6. You don't register. It will be first come, first serve. So besides all of that, which is amazing, and we have even more, that's just some of the things, we also are having, guess what? It's wintertime. We're going to have a winter reading challenge. So we had our summer reading challenge. We had awesome participation. You guys all did your reading. You came and got your prizes. So we're going to have a similar idea. We're going to have a winter reading challenge and a community reads book. So check that out on our website. You're going to be home anyways, right? Get those cozy PJs on, grab some cocoa, and read. I love to do that. And if you're reading, you might as well get fun things with it, right? So you can do our winter reading challenge. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope your cookies turn out well. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. Come in and see me. Come in and see my friends in Kids Space. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a safe, fun holiday. Thanks. Bye.